What is up, guys? It is Noah WX, and we are going to look at the CAPE for tomorrow, which is convective atmospheric pressure analysis. I think don't quote me on that, but we are going to look at the day one convective outlooks. So if we go to the category, we do see we have a slight risk in place for Iowa, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. We also have a slight risk in place for Texas and Oklahoma. The main threat for that is probably most likely going to be that wind. No, I mean, we do have a tornado threat, but if it gets bad, I'll go live. I'm not completely sold on that yet, even though it's currently happening. Look at the day two convective outlooks. We do have an enhanced risk, and the main threat for this is going to be the wind and hail risk. And you guys are going to see pop-up ads. That's just what Pro Weather does. We do have a 5% tornado risk with a 30% hatched with a significant one hail area. I don't know why the National Weather Service changed that. Sorry for messing that up, y'all. I need to fix this. Yeah, y'all, we're having technical difficulties. If we look at GFS, I'm just gonna make this big. I am going to have a loop, so you guys are going to be able to see it. We have a forecast loop. Play. This is for the entire country, the United States. We do have a storm system over Easter that could impact the lower areas of the country, like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Texas. But where we are right now, there's still many questions about that. And I mean, right now, this is definitely going to change. If it doesn't, I will be very surprised. I hope it does change, though. We're also going to look at CAPE. Alright, so that was the end of GFS. I'm going to let it play for one more time to show y'all. That's the storm system with the low pressure of it was like 993, I think, while it was hitting the southeast. And then there's another storm system potentially. So we're going to pause this. We're also going to go down to severe weather. Again, I cannot control those pop-up ads, so I'm sorry, y'all. We're gonna look at the CAPE. We're gonna look at the most unstable CAPE. We're also gonna look at the surface-based CAPE. The most unstable CAPE is what I'm kind of worried about. So that's fun. We have a lot of CAPE coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. That is warm moisture colliding with cold air. You can see that building right there. Can we go back to that? I'm worried about that. Right there. That is potentially very dangerous storm systems that is feeding off that environment. I'm going to let that continue to play. I was almost about to lay down. But yeah, after this storm system, we don't have much CAPE coming in at all. And I will show y'all that we do have a key down here. And we have almost 3,000, we almost have 3,000, so I'm still learning that. But this is going to be the surface CAPE, which I'm kind of worried about this one. If it wants to show, that's right there. So it's actually showing the same thing as the most unstable CAPE, which means the surface-based CAPE and the most unstable CAPE is identical, which means the surface CAPE is going to be very volatile to strong winds. Well, not strong winds, but tornadoes. And that, in terms adds to a strong wind factor. We do have a good amount of CAPE actually with Texas and Oklahoma. And we're also going to look at the supercell potential areas. And then we're only looking at to this 84 marker right here. So let's start back at 0. No, that's not 0. That's 0. Alright, so we're going to let that play. We do have some supercells forming over by Ohio and Pennsylvania. We did have that little blip over by Kansas and Arkansas. I mean, not Arkansas. And we do have these forming. Like they are going to form because the storm system is tomorrow, and I'm interested to see how it performs. Because the last but when they issued a enhanced risk for a lot of the people where I was, it underperformed. Because there's like one, well, I'm not going to say it underperformed, but it didn't do as what everyone thought. Which again is good, less tornadoes. But, yeah, my main worry is probably the tornadoes. We're also going to look at the upper air moisture to see if we can find the dew points, and we found them. Alright, so it looks like this is the corridor for that severe weather setup. It goes from Texas to Oklahoma to Kansas to Missouri. So we're going to look at that. Keep in mind, if you see any of the brighter colors, that's bad. Okay? Or the darker colors as well. Because you just have that moisture from the Gulf just rushing in. And we don't want that. You do see a dry boundary try to take form. And it actually does. Holy cow. That is a powerful dry line. But it does slowly start to lose up here towards the East Coast. And eventually does start to lose. But that is ways away, and that could obviously change. We're also going to look at the dew point, because the dew point is based off the same scale as the temperature. So I'll be able to help y'all with that. So we're only going to go to the next 96 hours. I mean, we have dew points in the 60s already for portions of the country. We are having, we do have some 60-degree dew points. If we're going to try to form, speaking hypothetically, if we are going to try to form a tornado, that is going to have to be in the 70s dew point. It's definitely possible. It could be from 65 up, or it could be from 65 down. But yeah, so that's the most interesting part, and I will be right back after I figure out how to pause this. Well, I'm not gonna pause it actually, because I'm almost done. Alright, so this is Noah WX, keeping you safe and the people who love you safer. If I have to go live, I will. I doubt that I'll have to. I mean, you even see those 70-degree dew points down near the Gulf of Mexico. I almost call it the Gulf of America, y'all. I'm messed up. Alright, this is Noah. Alright, this is for real now. This is Noah WX, keeping you safe and the people who love you safer. Peace.